What if I told you the rich legally pay less tax than many employees?
Today, we're jumping straight into Lesson 4, the history of taxes and the power of corporations. Let me ask you something. Was Robin Hood really a hero? Now think about it. In school, we're all taught to idolize the guy, right? Robbing the rich to give to the poor. It sounds so noble. But my rich dad, he taught me to look at it completely differently. He actually called him a crook. Here's the secret they don't tell you. That whole Robin Hood ideal, it actually backfired horribly. The real reality, and this is a tough pill to swallow, is that the true rich are not taxed. It's the educated middle class who ended up carrying the heaviest burden and paying for the poor. To understand this, we've got to look back at where taxes even came from. Believe it or not, originally there were no permanent taxes. None. Before the 1800s, they were just temporary levies, mostly just meant to pay for wars. It wasn't until way later, like 1913 in the United States with the 16th Amendment, that a regular income tax was actually made permanent. So how did the government manage to trap the public into accepting this? Well, it was a brilliant sales pitch. They sold the tax as a way to punish the wealthy capitalists. And the masses? They enthusiastically voted for it, truly believing they were voting for Robin Hood. But, as you can probably guess, the government's appetite for money just grew and grew. Very quickly, the demand for funds completely outpaced the deep pockets of the rich. So what happened? The taxes crept downward. That tax the rich plan eventually expanded and swallowed the exact same middle class who originally voted for it. It trickled down to absolutely everyone. Now, did the true capitalists just sit there and surrender their wealth? Of course not. They fought back. They used the financial knowledge found in the rich dad philosophy to find a completely legal escape route. And their absolute greatest escape hatch was the corporation. Now, when I say corporation, don't picture a massive glass skyscraper or a big factory. That's not what it is. It's literally just a file folder sitting in a lawyer's office. It's merely a legal document, a body without a soul, used to limit financial risk. And this trick actually dates all the way back to the days of sailing ships. This brings us to an absolutely crucial realization for your financial journey. There are two completely different rulebooks that dictate how wealth is handled in our society. You've got the employee rule and you've got the corporation rule. Let's look at the employee rule first. Under this rule, you work hard, you earn your money, then the government steps in like a bully, taking its tax cut first before you even see your paycheck, and finally, you try to live on whatever leftover scraps happen to remain. Now flip that around. The corporation rule is the ultimate legal loophole. Here, the corporation earns money. Then it spends everything it legally can on pre-tax expenses, and the government only taxes whatever is left over at the very end. It's the exact opposite, and it is a real game changer. But listen to me carefully here. You can't just go out, open up a file folder, and expect instant protection. No way. To safely and effectively use these corporate shields, you must first build a rock-solid foundation. And that foundation is your financial IQ. Your financial IQ isn't just one single thing. It's a synergy of skills supported by four vital pillars: accounting, investing, markets, and the law. To be truly financially independent, you need to understand all four of these. The first pillar is accounting. Now, I know that sounds boring, but this is your left brain financial literacy. It's absolutely crucial. If you can read the numbers, you can instantly identify the fundamental strengths and weaknesses of any business. It's like reading the vital signs of your money. The second pillar is investing. This is the fun part, the creative, right brain side of wealth. It's the science of money making money. Here is where you design strategies that allow your dollars to work for you as tiny, tireless employees 24 hours a day. Third is markets, the science of supply and demand. Every investment you make has to make basic economic sense based on what the market actually wants. And you must always remember that markets are primarily driven by two very powerful human emotions: fear and greed. And finally, the law. When you take your accounting, investing, and market skills and wrap them tightly inside the legal protection of a corporation, well, you experience explosive growth. It's quite literally the difference between walking on the ground and soaring through the sky. So what does this all mean? Financial intelligence is ultimately about one thing: control. If you work for money, you give the power up to your employer. But if your money works for you, you keep that power and you control your own life. You now know the history of the tax trap. And you know the secret of the corporate shield. So here's my question for you. What will you invent with it? Take some time to process these 4 pillars, and I will see you right back here for Lesson 5.
Subscribe for more personal financial tips.